Hi, we're going to begin talking about multitasking with local notifications. And to do this, we're going to have to back up and talk a little bit about app state, the state of the application at any given point of time. So let's go ahead and start. Multitasking, when we speak of multitasking in iOS, we're talking about the ability of the system to allow more than one app to run in some state at one time. Now, only one app in iOS can present its user interface and be active in the foreground at once. And this guy is called the foreground app. But when the user taps a home button on the foreground app is transitioned first of all to a background state. And when the app is in the background state, it can receive notifications and respond to them in various ways. Now, the background state is usually entered for only a very short period of time, and it then transitions to something called a suspended state, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. But notifications can also be received by an application while it is in the suspended state as well. So there are 5 possible states that any app can be in at any one point in time in iOS. And these are not running. Not running means the app has not yet been launched or it was terminated by some process, by the system usually. Inactive means the app is running in the foreground, but it's not receiving events. This is a very short time period state. Usually what's happening here is the user in the inactive state, the user has pressed the icon to launch the application, but it has not yet become active. So this is a very transitional type of state. Active means the app is running in the foreground and it's receiving events. This is the normal state for an application. Background is a little bit tricky to understand. The app is in the background and it is running code. Now this is very important. This is a distinction. Suspended is the same, except in a suspended state, the app is in the background, but it is not running code. So background is only that state where the app is in the background and running code. This is normally also a very transitional state. The app usually goes very quickly from active through the background state to a suspended state. But an application can request additional time to run code before being suspended, or it can be set up to run entirely in the background. In other words, we can actually start an application to run only in the background state. And then suspended, of course, the app is in the background, but it's not running code. So the system transitions the app to a suspended state automatically. There is no indication to your application that the background state has been left and the suspended state has been entered. There's no notification there. So the app delegate, as we already know, tracks these state transitions in various ways. There is an application will finish launching with options. The user has tapped the app icon. In this case, the app is on its way to being initialized, but the user interface has not been created or displayed. So this is the first opportunity really that you have to do some setup stuff. Application did finish launching with options we're very familiar with. This is when the UI has been initialized, but the app is still inactive at this point. Application did become active is when the app has transitioned to the active state. So application did finish launching with options. The app is still inactive, but then when we transition, we get application did become active. Application will resign active happens right at that point where the app is about to transition to the background state. Now, at this point, this is where if we need to request additional time for the background state to execute some code, we would do so here. Application did enter background is once we have transitioned to the application background state. Application will enter foreground is we are going from the background state to the foreground state, but the app is still inactive. And then application will terminate is a special class. The app is about to be terminated, but if we're in a suspended state, this app will not be called, or this application will terminate method will not be called. Now, application will terminate is a little bit strange because since iOS 4, applications don't normally terminate. The application will terminate will not be called since iOS 4 unless one of the following is true. Either the device does not support multitasking, or we have a special key in the info plist file that we place there called UI application exits on suspend. What UI application exits on to suspend does is basically disables background state execution for an application. So now that we have a little bit of background information, no pun intended, on the states of an application, let's look at this thing called a local notification. A local notification is simply an instance of UI local notification, and we use when an app must alert the user of a specific event. And these are usually time-based events. An app's local notifications will fire when the app is in the foreground or the background or suspended state. When they fire in the foreground, something a little bit different happens, but when they fire in the background, we'll get a notification center notification, and then the user has the option to tap on the notification or to tap on the app's icon to bring it back up. If the app is in the background or suspended, the notification will be displayed as a banner at the top of the device screen in iOS 7. This can be pulled down to bring down all the notifications, the local notifications that have been received. If the notification happens in the foreground state, we are responsible for dealing with that notification. And we deal with it by grabbing it in the app delegate's application did receive local notification message. And that second parameter after local notification, that is the notification object. And it is, once again, a UI local notification that we can grab and look into and do different things. So in the foreground state, we get application did receive local notification within the app delegate. In the background state, we get a notification, the app's icon may be badged, and so forth. Now, the properties, when we set up one of these things, the properties are these. We have a fire date. This is just an NS date that the notification will fire at. We have a time zone, and we can use this time zone. We can either use the default time zone, or we can use this time zone thing to look out at where the user is located in the world and account for the differences in time zones while we are traveling. We have an alert body. This is the NS string that's going to be displayed when the notification fires in a background state, and can also be passed to the message parameter of a UI alert view that we might bring up in the application did receive local notification delegate method of the app delegate. Alert action is actually the string that we're going to use as the title of that alert's action button, or possibly a slider. Application icon badge number is the number to show in the app icon's badge, or 0 to show no badge. If we omit the application icon badge number, we will get no badge. But we might want to set the application icon badge number to 0 to make the badge go away. The sound name is the sound to play when the alert and or the badge is displayed. And then user info is a dictionary. It's an NS dictionary of stuff that we want to pass along with the notification as additional information. So how do we schedule one? Well, we instantiate UI local notification. We do this by calling alloc and init on it, and then we get back a local notification object that we can set the properties on as we need. And then we schedule that notification by calling schedule local notification on the app. That's the shared application instance. So UI application shared application is what we're going to schedule this local notification on. There's a limit of 64 local notifications that can be scheduled by one application at one time. Anything over that limit will not be scheduled. But we can cancel one particular local notification by calling cancel local notification on the app, giving it the UI local notification instance, or we can cancel all pending local notifications. So now how do we handle them once we get them? So what's going to happen? The notification is going to fire. It displays a banner in the background. So if this thing is in the background, if the app is in the background when the notification happens, we're going to get the notification banner at the top of the screen. The icon may be badged, and the sound could possibly play. If the user taps on the notification in the notification center, in the banner, the notification will be passed into the application as part of the launch options thing. It's a dictionary. Launch options is a dictionary. It's a dictionary that contains the notification, among other things. Now, that dictionary has a bunch of keys and values like every other dictionary. And the key that we're looking for to get the notification stuff is called UI Application Launch Options Local Notification Key. So we get that within application did finish launching with options. And then that second parameter, the one that's called options, it's called launch options, that will be the dictionary. In that dictionary, we look for the value of the UI application launch options local notification key, and that will be a UI local notification that was passed when the user tapped on the notification in the notification center to reopen the app. However, caveat, if the user taps the app icon rather than the notification in the banner or notification center, the notification will not be sent to application did finish launching with options. So we have two cases that we have to handle there. How do we handle one in the foreground? Well, in the foreground, we just simply override, in app delegate, we override the application did receive local notification of the app delegate. And then we can do anything we want to with that notification. But if it happens in the foreground, remember that if your notification sets an icon badge, and if it happens in the foreground, we probably don't want to display that badge if the user has dealt with that notification when it happens in the foreground. So we want to change the app's badge number probably back to 0. Remember that badges with notifications don't get set or reset automatically. You have to deal with them yourself. You change the application icon badge number rather than the notification application icon badge number in this case. You may also need to change the badge number in other app delegate methods as well. You may need to change it in application did finish launching. You may need to change it in application will resign active. So remember that. And what will happen is you'll be debugging your code and you'll notice that this badge pops up, and you'll just handle it accordingly while you're debugging your code. Thank you very much.